Hey everybody, this is AJ. We're about ready to get on the Rhyze AMA. Lots of great info coming. Again, just bear with us. It will be simulcast here to YouTube. If you're listening to the recording, it should start in about 1 or 2 more minutes. If you're listening to this live, please jump over to the Rhyze Discord to join in with all of us. So, all right, thanks for being here and thanks for listening to the recording. Again, this is about the new Rhyze project, and we'll get into all of it in about 1 minute.
AJ, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, hey brother, you there? David, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, man.
Awesome,
We're
man.
going to
Yep.
be great to have you here, and we're going to be joined by uh, Johnny Verse.
All right,
John,
amazing.
here he is. And also Triton's going to join us. Triton, can you make your way to the stage? Guys, do you know how to bring anyone up? I've never done this before. But
Yeah,
Triton's going to help us
let me try. I think I can. Hang on.
grab them, please. Let me see. Maybe I can join in on that effort. Hmm. Wow.
Mouse right click.
Excellent. Uh, his hand's up. There he
Hey,
is.
hey guys, can you
There
hear
we
me?
go. We got it. Yes.
Yes, excellent.
Hey.
I'm actually really happy to have Triton on the stage with us. This is his first time, and I like doing this because he is the exact type of success story that we want to see in this space. And he's someone that started out as a investor, a holder in
Yep.
Titano, and he was hounding me constantly about wanting to help with the protocol, wanting to move things along. He just had so many ideas. And finally I just said, you know what? This kid is relentless. We got to get him involved. And he came on board, has been helping Titano and Switch with a lot of things behind the scenes in the areas of marketing. Um, and now he's also doing some things with us with Rhyze. He came on board, same thing. It's magnificent because he's always got a ton of great ideas. But it's a great example of a young person who just wants to be a part of helping the industry to move along and are being in a position to support that. So thank you, Triton, for your help in here and short notice helping us as well. Triton's going to help us with any questions that might pop up that he might see. And yeah, I appreciate you being here, young man.
Of course, man. Thank you so much.
All right, all right, all right. Well, welcome everybody. And this is the first AMA we've done in a long time. And it is one of the most exciting and important, I think, that I've been involved with because it's with someone that I have a lot of respect for. I've been watching what he's been doing in this extraordinarily difficult industry. And he's just been kicking butt and he's relentless and hardworking. And when most people kind of pull away and say, I can't do it, he's like, not only can I do it, we're going to do it even better and bigger. And, as someone who's been involved with a bunch of projects, and John, I'm speaking for you as well, it's just great to have AJ here from EMP.Money and with us talk about what we're going to be doing together, but also to share some of his wisdom. He just launched SparkSwap, which is a really amazing protocol project. DEX that he launched with farming on the DEX. And he's going to talk about that a little bit. So we're really, really excited to have him here. And, you know, as always, I'm with John, and happy to have you here, John. So, AJ, before we give you a chance to talk a little bit about yourself and what you're up to, John, please say hello to everybody and welcome them.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Pleasure to meet you, AJ. I've heard so much about you. I have invested in your projects in the past, EMP. Many of my friends have invested in it too. It's you know, a stalwart in the space. It's you know, definitely something to look up to, and excited to have you here with us today to talk about all the things we're going to do together. As David mentioned, it's been a while since we have been in an AMA or talking with our audience here at Rhyze. But the good thing, and you know, I kick off with this, and I think it's something for us to all remember, is that the great thing about Rhyze is that you can sit there and let it just rise while you're just doing other things, getting on with other things. In our case, we've been building, we've been preparing lots of little things, setting things up for the future. Including lots of developments, which we'll talk about shortly. We've made some investments, which again, we'll talk about shortly. And today with AJ, we're going to talk about a few things that we're going to do together as well. So great to be back at last, and, you know, about time, David.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, one more thing before we get off and running here. I just want to make sure that we're actually recording this. So I was told that there would be a bot here. Are we recording this?
Check.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are. I'm simulcasting to YouTube as well. So if you have a bot, that's great. If not, we can have a backup where we can post the AMA as well. If somebody can just confirm for me too, that we are live on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, can someone leave a message, and Triton, could you check that for us?
Yeah, and while we're doing that, I just, again, thank you guys for such amazing kind words and warm welcome. The feeling is mutual. Again, David, you're a pillar in the community. I know Jason as well. I don't think he's gonna join us today, but again, it's an honor to be here, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the kind words as well. Yeah, so let us give a recap on what Rhyze is and what we are all doing here. I'll start, and John, please, any of the key areas that I don't speak enough about or speak about at all, please fill in for me. Okay, so Rhyze is a project that had a lot of forethought in it. As you all likely know, the people on this stage have been through a lot of projects and a lot of time in the DeFi space. And as we always talk about, the goal is to use innovation to create protocols that bring value to those that get involved with the protocols as investors and other people that engage. And Rhyze was born out of that. It was born out of our being involved in projects that were great ideas in some cases, but didn't reach their potential. In other cases, there were parts of great ideas, but as you take these experiments, which is what we call all of them, out to market, you begin to see where the flaws are, where, you know, the market conditions change, and all of a sudden those things that were working really well don't work as well going forward. And from all of that, we were just taking notes. And then our buddy Jason came along. It started with a series of conversations with him asking me about, you know, what would I like to see in a protocol? Like, what are the elements that we think are important? And every element that we came up with needed to be investor focused and needed to be an ability to minimize risk and maximize the upside. Now, that sounds cliche, but quite often projects don't put both of those things in the forefront at the same time. They think that, you know, you can have one but you can't have both. But it turns out you can. And so that began a series of experiments, a series of conversations, a series of, you know, looking at things that we could put in the marketplace that was innovative and different. And again, focused on minimizing risk and maximizing potential. And that created Rhyze. Rhyze is a unique proposition built on some foundational and fundamental protocols that, again, were working to some extent in the DeFi space. The project has a unique design in that the price of the token can never go down. Now, I want to be clear, that's not a magic trick. There are other tokens where the price will never go down, but there's a catch. And that catch in those other tokens is that the price might never go down, but since they're negative rebasing in order to push the project up, diminishing the supply to push the project price up, what can happen is that you can lose value in your wallet. So the price might be higher, but there's less value, less money in your wallet. Rhyze can never take more value out of your wallet. It just doesn't happen. It cannot happen, right? Contractually, from the contract side, it just can't happen. Now, there's been a lot of questions that I've taken regarding, okay, well, what's the value of it then? The price is going up, but it doesn't necessarily mean the value in your wallet is going up. And I'll speak about that in a second. Well, the idea of the price going up, it's a marketing element. We all know that when we see a green chart and the price constantly going up, it has a positive effect on us. We've all been involved in projects where we invested, we see them go up, and then they crash terribly. And you're looking at it and you're debating about whether you think this project might ever regain its former glory, right? Because the chart doesn't look so great. Now, a lot of projects do regain their former glory, and we're in a bear market, right? So it's fair to say even my favorite tokens are down 60, 70, 80, in some cases more than 90%. However, when I look at those projects, I'm not as enthusiastic about getting involved with them immediately. I want to see something happen. I want to see the chart change. So having a green chart just creates positive vibes around it. And as we get momentum building, we think that it'll be an additional element to get people excited about what's going on. So that's a critical element. Rhyze is also, every token is 100% backed. Quite often with DeFi projects, the liquidity pool has a limited amount as compared to the market cap. And as a result, there's this challenge by the project to continually keep everyone motivated so that they don't dump and take all liquidity out of liquidity pool. Similarly, from the investor side, trying to create a cohesive community when people are concerned about, their neighbor dumping on them, it becomes challenging to be 100% comfortable with the project, because at any second your neighbor might decide, oh my gosh, I need to get out of this thing, and then you're left with this awful decision. Maybe I'm down at that point, but maybe I'll be able to retain something, so let me get out of here. So with Rhyze, every token is 100% backed. What that means is that anytime you want to get out of this token, minus the taxes, you can get 100% of your money out, regardless as to whatever any other Rhyze holder is doing. No one can ever dump on you. You can never be met with an empty liquidity pool. So again, it's a feature that, again, focuses on the community, right? Not having that anxiety, not being able to sleep because you don't know if you might wake up and the liquidity pool's been drained and now you're stuck in the project with tokens that you can't cash out. The combination of these elements are things that we haven't seen, and we're happy to talk about them. We're happy to bring them on. We also have, we inject into the Rhyze price. So the Rhyze price will go up in several different ways, right? From buys and sells, a portion of that money is put into the Rhyze backing, pushing the price up. And also revenue generated from outside sources and use cases. As John mentioned, and we'll talk about it a little bit in a bit, we have made our first outside investment. We talked about we were going to do that. And we made our first outside investment into WarFi, which is a project that is backed by trading bots that have been profitable for a long period of time, more than 18 months. And so we felt, in addition to that, Jason, our partner, is behind WarFi. Jason is a proven entity in the space, so we wanted to make our first investment into a project that we didn't have to worry about it being a weak project that maybe went away, and also one that we've got inside knowledge on. So investing in WarFi for us as the first project was a no-brainer. We got more investments coming. So those, I'm sorry, one more thing I wanted to add, and that is the other way that revenue gets generated is by use cases. So our first use case, internal use case, is a raffle. It's nearly ready. We hope to announce an exact date when it will start when we launch the new version of the website and the DApp, which is underway right now. So we'll have specific dates for that in a couple of days on when all of that will be launched. So we've been active, as John was saying, we've been really active pushing the project along. One of the things that I say to people about Rhyze, holders or people who are interested in it, is that we came into this project knowing that the investing community was apathetic about DeFi projects. They don't believe what they hear, rightfully so, because they've been involved in projects where they've been made all of these promises. And in the end, the promises never pan out. So coming into this project, one of the things that we didn't do was market heavily. We didn't want this thing out there and making all these unrealistic promises and claims and all those things. And the rationale behind it was, why don't we instead build a project that just proves itself over time? That's marketing. Like people ask me, David, when's marketing? Marketing is every day. Like we've been saying to people, if you look at this project today, it's going to look great. You look at it next week, it's going to look great. Next month, it'll look great. 6 months from now, it's going to look great. When we go into the bear and bull market, this project's still going to look great. So what people need to see is that what we're saying is accurate. And we believe, by the way, I'm not saying we're not doing marketing. Of course we're doing marketing. But what I'm saying is that the best marketing for this project is people looking at what we're saying. The price you see rise today the price will never be that price again. It will always go up. So with that in mind, it gives people a level of comfort, but we have to be mindful that we've got to change people's minds over time. We can't expect people to just jump into a new project that makes these claims. Hey, the price is never going to go down. Hey, your tokens are 100% backed. They have to see it. And, I said, I was in a conversation the other day with one of the holders, and they were giving me all this marketing advice. I said, listen, this is an education process, and we're happy to undertake it because we believe that we're able to bring value in a different way. I wouldn't say to anyone, well, this is the only token and don't believe. You should get into a project based on your desire to engage with what that project's talking about. But what I do say to people is, this is a project that's focused on the safety side of things. Doesn't limit your potential upside. If we got the kind of volume that, one of AJ's projects gets, for instance, the price would skyrocket. We have safety elements. And so that message has got to sink in with people, and they've got to get comfortable with it. And we believe, and we're seeing some of it, I've got a bunch of people going, hey man, let me watch this thing for a couple of months. Let me watch it to just make sure what you're saying isn't just marketing. And I say, great. Keep your eye on it, see what we're doing. We're not going anywhere. This is a long-term project, and we're excited to be here and to offer it to investors who have been taken advantage of, not on purpose, right? A lot of the projects have great intentions, but so we're really excited. So that's my long-winded conversation around Rhyze. John, have I missed anything important? I'm sure I have. Please help me fill in.
Actually, I thought that was great, and I think it speaks to the point, David. We've spent 20 minutes online so far in this AMA. That took a good 15 minutes, and that was a very good, quite concise overview description of Rhyze and the mechanics. And I think that speaks to what we're trying to do here. Complicated as they are, people can learn, people can start to understand these things. Complicated as they are, but we need a bit of time, and that's what Rhyze gives us. We spoke about this within the team, we spoke about this within the community and within the AMAs. What we have here with this token is, as you said, a token whose price will never go down. Your wallet, the value will never go down. It can only go up. if people sell, your wallet value goes up, which is, a rare thing, a very unique thing, in fact. So we have the time, therefore, to sit with our audience, sit with our investors, and allow them to educate other people, allow them to talk to new investors, and allow them to really get to know each other. And that's what we're hoping to do here. So we have, how do you build trust? You consistently do what you say you're going to do over a period of time. In other words, you're always fulfilling your promises. And that's what we've done so far. We set up this project. We promised that the price would only go up, that your wallet value would never go down. And since the start, that's been the case every single day. We're at $1.52 now. It started at $1. A lot of that has been due to the negative rebasing, but some has not. There's actually real value in there so far. And as we move forward, we've already seen website updates. We've seen external updates. With Wayne, for example, he's put us on his site so that people can access the Rhyze chart over at his site. What's his site called? Can we get a link to that? Maybe in the chat. That would be great. And we've seen already.
Sorry, the coinlogic.com.
That's right. Yeah, the CoinLogic, great site, and he's already updated that. He updated our website once. I'm doing another refresh based on the feedback that we've had from the community, and we're going to update the chart again. We're continually working on how to make that as good as it can be, so that when we do start marketing proper, everyone can see just how good the chart looks. And it's real, it's a real thing. It's not just negative rebasing. There's real investments going out now, which will provide us with real returns. So I'm incredibly excited, as you say, David. The longer this goes on, the better it looks. And I think you covered everything. But as you can see, it takes a bit of time for people to get to know a project. And with Rhyze, we have that time.
Excellent. Thank you for that. All right. So we've got AJ here. And AJ, I would love for you to kind of give us a little bit of background. I'm sure most people know, but we should never assume that everyone knows. So talk a little bit about, your time in the space, what you've been doing with EMP, and then with SparkSwap, please.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, so thank you for having me. Again, this is a pretty monumental day. Definitely stick around to the very end to really hear how this all comes together. But before we get to all that, everything that, David and Jody just went on about is how we have become so successful in DeFi. It's about, not only, having an amazing community, but letting that community get to know you and get to show through actions rather than words. And we started EMP about 2 years ago, and we have all the ethos that was, again, just talked about in the last 10 minutes, and that has contributed to our success, that we don't give up, we continue to build, and I think Rhyze, again, shares all that. I would not be involved here today if I didn't wholeheartedly believe all that, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, more about me. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I am definitely, been an OG in the space. I've been in crypto for about 10 years now, which, again, when you say that out loud, it makes you realize how fast time flies in crypto. But even before then, I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was still in high school. I was a professional graphic designer, dual enrolled in college, graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts, valedictorian, and had a very successful art career using digital painting as my medium. And I actually did a portrait for President Barack Obama back in 2012, and that really skyrocketed my career. I also happen to be a paraplegic. I used to talk about it a lot more in the beginning, but now I think a lot of people know my history and are familiar with who I am. Again, you can look me up. I'm fully doxxed. Just Google AJ Brockman. But I've never let that hold me back, and I've had an amazing life despite my physical limitations. But that really plays into crypto too, and I'll talk about that in one more minute. But I had a really successful career, again, commercial real estate. I was involved in the entertainment industry. Had a large music venue here in South Florida. So again, I bring all this to all of my crypto projects as actually running a business, and I think that is also something that sets everything apart. Um, we're not here. This is not a hobby for us. This is our, lifelong commitment, and we wake up every day as a team, to get shit done. And I think that's a lot different than a lot of other protocols. And again, why we resonate so well with Rhyze and WarFi and everything that all these founders have started on their own. But yeah, I mean, again, in terms of crypto, why I think I was drawn to it on a very spiritual level is that I think crypto is the great equalizer, and and it's the great financial equalizer, where it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, just like with me and my personal situation, it doesn't matter my physical limitations. It really matters about the drive, and so as long as you love crypto for what it is, and if you're here right now in the depths of a bear market, you're one of the real ones. So again, I think we all realize this, and we see the potential of crypto, how it truly can change the world. So again, that's a little bit more about me. Our projects have been extremely successful. Again, based on the ethos that David and everybody at Rhyze share. We don't just talk, we do. And we've proven that over 2 years. EMP is a seigniorage protocol on the Binance Smart Chain, and we've run into some really interesting pitfalls as well. We definitely didn't get it right 100% the first time, and now we're transitioning into a new model at EMP called EMP Fusion. And even though we've suffered through the bear market and our inflation, we've still been successful. I mean, even now, you can earn about 20% APR in our farms, which is incredible considering we've been operating for, again, almost 2 years now. But EMP Fusion is really the future, and that again, we'll talk about this at the very end about how Rhyze will play into that. But we, the elevator pitch of EMP Fusion is that we're getting away from the inflationary model. We're focusing on real yield, which again, David mentioned earlier. Another reason that Rhyze ticks all the boxes for me is that real yield is also, I think, the next wave. I think any DeFi protocol that doesn't have real yield on top of the other economics of their tokens will fail. And again, if you don't have real yield, you are just a glorified Ponzi, and we've seen how that has ended for 99% of all projects. So that gets me really excited, and EMP Fusion will be a gamified way that you can participate in our ecosystem with actual real yields feeding it. So we're gonna have a marketplace. And those what again, I don't want to get too technical here, but it's basically we break our protocol into two things called the central grid and the microgrid. The microgrid is your ownership of the protocol. So by participating in EMP Fusion, you actually own part of the protocol, and with that, you earn through all these different revenue streams with these things called batteries. And batteries are your cash out option of Fusion. And this again is a way not only to diversify, you can cash out in many things, including stables or other blue chip assets, or even partner protocols, Alpha Alert. And again, we'll talk more about that at the end. But it's a way that the system can operate much more healthily than we're typically used to seeing in DeFi. And most recently, we launched Spark Swap, which is an AMM or a DEX yield farm on Pulse Chain. And so we've had an amazing launch with that as well. And everything that we do is about building an ecosystem. So SparkSwap actually will feed back into EMP and the EMP mothership. And we also have the L1 DEX that is coming later this year, which ties into some interoperability. Again, that's a big word. That basically means that multiple chains can talk to each other without the use of a bridge. And again, all that will tie into our big announcement at the end of this AMA. But yeah, we've been busy as hell. We again use the bear market as a time to build, and we're just really excited for this opportunity. I've been asked to be part of the official team here at Rhyze, and I could not be more excited, to move forward and see what we can do together for sure.
That's fantastic. It's so nice to hear you talk about all these things and to hear how you've been building it out. And to your point about projects that don't build out those utilities or don't build out those real world real yields at the start, if they're not thinking about that from the start, it becomes very difficult to add them in later, or in some cases impossible. Because for many people or for many projects, the timer's on as soon as you launch, right? There's that pressure to get things done, pressure to keep getting those buys coming in, pressure on the sell side when the chart does start looking up. I would certainly from our perspective, when David and I got into Rhyze, we said from the outset there has to be some real yield here. There has to be, some utility for the token. There has to be something to look forward to, both for the investor, but also for future investors, so they can see that this project's going somewhere, that it's connecting the dots, that it's using the network that is available to all of us in this space. As I like how you started this, when you're talking about your start in crypto and how you've developed. It's very much about looking outwards and having that potential, as you said. Everyone has that potential now. Before we didn't. We were locked into a financial system where you didn't have the tools or didn't have the access. And now the opposite is true. We have the access, we have to embrace it. We have to reach out and make the right partnerships, the right connections, such as this one here.
Absolutely, brother. Totally.
Yeah, so Trent77 had a question.
Yes.
I mean, he had two questions. So one of them was, how is Rhyze different than the UP token, which EMP has previously partnered with? And the second question, which I'm guessing will be answered at the end of the AMA as the announcement, is how will EMP utilize Rhyze?
Excellent.
Yeah, no, totally. So yeah, go ahead, David. But I was just going to chime in really quick about the UP token, and yeah, that second part of that question we will definitely get to. But and David, feel free to elaborate. But what really drew me, there's three things that for me at Rhyze, when I was approached by David and Jason early on, when all this development and brainstorming was happening. There's some really key factors that I think differentiate Rhyze. And I know David did a great overview earlier, but there was a few other key points. And one of those is the original question was, how is this different from UP EMP? So we have already partnered, with Jason on, the UP EMP token. Again, Jason has some other UP tokens in his ecosystem. And again, it's that same concept of being fully collateralized and having a fee in and out that marches the token in an upwards trajectory. And we've had great success with that at EMP. Again, UP EMP has about 3.5 million EMP in it. So that's pretty incredible. And those that are in are loving it. But what we see is that the larger the token gets, the more, again, liquidity, and liquidity is a loose term because it's not liquidity in the traditional sense. It's more of a backing. So the more backing the token has, it becomes a lot harder to move the price. So again, in the beginning, a 10,000 EMP, buy on UP EMP would have moved the needle, 0.1%. Now, it barely does anything because that same buy pressure is going into over 3 million of collateral basically. Well, this is what I got really excited for with Rhyze, and this is where the negative rebasing really shines. So by having this negative rebase, and again, David probably does a better job of explaining this, but you're able to control that backing, and it actually lowers it maintains the value of your tokens, but it lowers the amount of tokens it takes to move the price. And so this is revolutionary because you're able to again avoid that dilution that we see in up tokens because these sort of tokens they thrive on volume, and if you can move the needle more with less volume, I mean that is like a dream scenario. And so that's what really stood out to me in terms of the Rhyze economics, and why I get really excited on this next evolution, of not only up but also the rebase. And we all know rebase has a negative connotation. I think, if anything, maybe on the marketing front, David, we come up with another word for rebase because people get so scared of that. But this is where rebase actually is powerful and impactful. So yeah, go ahead, David. I know you probably elaborate.
I think your explanation was amazingly wonderful, and I agree with you about coming up with a different name. We are sort of downplaying it because of the negative connotation, but typically what people are afraid of about the rebasing is the endless printing of tokens. Rhyze has a fixed supply, and as you're saying, we're taking tokens out with the negative rebasing. So yeah, it's something that's been looked at. And again, the up token was something, Jason was one of the developers of it. And so we talked at length about how we could avoid some of the issues that came about with that project that became known. And those are in Rhyze. But yeah, but in terms of your explanation, AJ, thank you for that. And hopefully
Absolutely.
whoever asked that question, it answered. I want to move the conversation to something to partnerships. But before I do that, I just want to kind of just commend you for something you said earlier, AJ, when you were describing your journey and why you're here. And that is, the desire to create something that causes change and causes opportunities for people. John and I have been doing AMAs and have been involved in projects, and that's always at the foundation of why we're here. That's what excites us about being here. And, I've been saying lately that I think whether people recognize it or not, that's what excites us, at least to some degree, all of us who are here. The fact that we can be active in our own futures, right? In a world where we have less and less and less power, not seemingly, but actually, right? This is a space that says, come on and be empowered. Right, come get involved in this and be the cause for change for you, for your family, for your community, for the world. Right, we all would agree that things need to happen that cause change, positive change for all of us. It's not about us working harder. We're all working as hard as we can. It's about getting more out of what we're doing. So we're looking at these models and we're saying, how do we get to that? Well, and I'm making my transition here to partnerships. One of the things that is exciting that we've learned is that there are a group of young people who are constantly coming into this industry who don't have a lot of experience, but they have a lot of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is amazing. It's wonderful, but it isn't an excuse. It isn't a substitute for experience. Experience is needed. AJ, you talked about it, your business experience before you got into crypto. John and I have extensive business experience in multiple continents, multiple industries, multiple roles in companies from CEOs to senior managers, building up our own businesses as entrepreneurs and bringing a lot of that experience into this space, which allows us to make better decisions. So one of the things that's become really obvious to us is partnerships are critical. The idea that you're going to think of everything or see everything that might happen is a fallacy. Thinking that way, you're way off track. What you need to do is you need to partner with people who have a similar ethos, right? Who believe in the same things that you do, who are out there, who are putting the work in, working hard, building things, focusing on not just their protocol, right? What we always talk about is if something's not working in this industry, it negatively affects us. You might know AJ as an example. John and I just joined the Pillars, right? And we're building out that investor community with three amazing guys that started it. And we initially went in and we did a couple of AMAs, now CEEs, community engagement events with them, and found out that they were just amazing people, and we love what they were doing. And we had these ideas around community and how to make sure that the communities get more value. And it turned into this amazing relationship that's now turned into a partnership. John and I are now two of the five pillars. And we're transforming that community and the idea around an investor community into a Web3 model. The Web3 model says that you just participating, if it's generating revenue, some of that revenue is yours. Not, hey, we're coming in and you're seeing us talk and present projects and we're getting paid and you're giving us your time. Your time is worth money because we're charging money. So some of that money should go to you. And this model we believe will revolutionize. It's been really, really interesting talking with investor members and talking with stakeholders around the industry. We're now talking with major centralized exchanges about partnerships, and we're talking with layer ones around partnerships. Again, with this entire idea of creating a better environment for investors, more value for investors. All of this comes out of partnerships. And and what we realized, as a result of being in the projects, this stuff is hard. And you're always going to have problems and you're not going to see everything. Having strong partners who've been there before, who can give you good advice, who can offer you resources to help you through these problems are critical. So that's why I'm glad to have you up here with us and talk about what you've been through. And you mentioned going through this bear market and unforeseen circumstances, and then your reaction to that. It's not, oh my God, it's not frozen. You keep building and you keep, you don't stop. You get smarter. You take that data in, you listen to other people, and then you go out and you do it with partners. So I wanted to just bring that up to you, AJ, and get your input on it as well, to talk about partnerships. I know EMP's got a lot of partnerships. Tell me a bit about how you value them.
Yeah, absolutely, David. So again, this is one of the major things that we do differently. I think a lot of people, and again, when I say we, you are included in that, David, for sure. We don't look at it as competition, and I think that is a major, siloed effect that crypto and DeFi in particular, has as a whole. Everybody is competing for market share, but the majority of projects, are very tribalistic. They are, their way or the highway. They're not interested in partnerships because they think it takes away from their investor base or, dilutes the vision. I've never been like that. And again, I know David as well and John, but, and Jason, but even in the real world, even in my real world businesses, I was never, looking to compete. I was looking to build a community. And again, I know a lot of it may sound cliche, but it really does contribute to the success. And, again, to David's points, yes, we have learned a lot from partnerships. Some good, some bad, majority good, and that helps us grow as well. And yeah, whether it's a resource on, maybe a trusted developer or a development team that can lend a hand, or maybe are able to get in front of other larger influencers that you may have not been able to because of, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So there's a lot of different key things. But I think one more point in terms of partnerships is that the real successful partnerships are a two-way street, and it's something. The best partnerships are when both parties gain something out of it. And again, that's really what we focus on moving forward. We're approached by literally, tens if not hundreds of projects a week on partnerships, and a lot of times those partnerships are simply just with their personal agendas in mind, where they want to piggyback on our success or our hype. So those kind of partnerships are not what we're talking about today. The partnerships we are talking about, again, are with trusted teams where we can collaborate, we can offer value to each other, and grow together. And that's really, what I value most in, our partnerships moving forward. So, and again, Rhyze exemplifies all of that.
Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it. On a happy note relating to that, I mentioned that we are engaging with a lot of stakeholders. I can tell you that everyone we speak with, shares what you just shared, right? And the reason is because, like I said, we're all gonna make this thing happen together, or it's just not gonna happen. We are, as an example, also engaging with a bunch of influencers, right? Because a lot of people have a negative attitude towards influencers. However, they have a really challenging job, and we believe that by offering them support and a framework to help them, do the best job possible, which is the best job possible is a great job. We think that we can, assist them, have them assist us, and collectively it assists the entire industry, right? They're very, very valuable. If you have the ability to attract people and to listen to you, then that's valuable. And again, by reaching out and offering support and offering resources that we can to help people, it helps everyone. It helps investors, who again are the backbone to this the entire crypto industry. All right. So with that said, as we've been intimating, there is a partnership happening between EMP.Money and Rhyze, and we are really, really, really excited. Not just that it's our first partnership, but that it sets the tone because. AJ, without tooting your horn too much, you said it earlier. You're an OG in this space, and it being involved with you and what you're doing, which is constant innovation. I say it all the time. This is an innovation space. This is all of us trying to figure out what those models are that change everything. And I said this, I wrote this in a Medium article that I said, we'll know that all of this stuff is working when we see change, right? Not just making money, but when we see change, we'll see change in our lives by what we're doing here. And then, again, we believe that that's going to reverberate out and affect everyone and everything that you're doing. If you realize that coming together, we made money. We came together and we created money. And if we can create money, the most regulated and valuable product in the world, we can do anything. And we are doing it together. It's not about, as AJ said earlier, it's not about, what your physical limitations are, what your economic limitations are, where you live, what your religion is, your sexual orientation. None of those things are important, and they don't matter in crypto. Anyone can do anything in this industry, and it will be done if we come together. All the good things that we imagine can be accomplished, we can do them together. So with that being said, AJ is joining us. He's becoming a part of the Rhyze team. I don't have to tell you why we're so excited about that when you hear what he's accomplished, number one, and then number two, who he is as a human being. But yeah, we are happy to have him, and I can tell him we are going to lean on him for his expertise, for his wisdom, his guidance, his smarts, and his ideas for how we can make this ecosystem, as amazing as we all know it can be. So we appreciate you joining us, AJ, and happy to have you here. And by the way, as you mentioned, that's a two-way street. If there are, and I'm sure that there will be, any things that we can do, to help you and help you move things along, we are 100% behind that. And that includes constantly looking at ways for us to develop new things together. But yeah, brother, happy to have you here and welcome to the Rhyze team.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. Again, I'm honored to be here. It's been a long time coming. Again, David and I have been joking in private conversations is like we knew that we were going to work together one day. We didn't know in what capacity and what the right project and fit was. But now I think that Rhyze is that, and I know Rhyze is that. And again, John, we know each other. I'm excited to get to know you even better. Jason wasn't able to make it today, but again, we always thought about building a dream team, and we feel like we have that at EMP, and now hopefully we can have this here at Rhyze as well. And yeah, I mean, again, it's we'll drop a little bit more alpha in a minute here on some concrete examples, of what it means to have us involved with Rhyze directly. But yeah, I think the foundation is really important. And David, you mentioned this even at the very very beginning. Everybody listening to this AMA even now, you have no idea how early you actually are, and I think that's also really powerful. I think other projects try to hype too much in the beginning, and it doesn't allow for this really gradual and organic growth. It's all about hype, and that's not what Rhyze is. Rhyze wants to be a foundational success, and then people will come and pile in. I know, again, even the EMP community, we definitely were teasing Rhyze in our VIP community. Again, just one more way we can add value at EMP. We have a great VIP group that really gets behind the sports projects. But, this is really the first debut of how powerful Rhyze is. Again, David did an amazing job giving an overview at the very beginning of what makes it different. And we, again, with our expertise, like Captain Planet, with our powers combined, we will have an amazing protocol that feeds into the whole EMP ecosystem as well.
Wow, thank you, AJ. John, add some thoughts here, man. I know you're listening. I know you. Add some thoughts, please.
No, it's so nice to sit here and actually listen to both of you. I mean, yeah, much respect to you both. And as AJ said, speaking to partners and yourself as well, David, when AJ said he mentioned something about people being silos in the space and competing with each other, and so often that's the case. We saw that at Titano where we were working, and all these other projects were just criticizing Titano just because it was the easy target, because it was the one at the top, right? So everyone up there is punching, and we always took the rule that you don't punch down. We just wouldn't criticize other projects. We wouldn't talk about other projects. We just get on with our own thing and do our own thing. And that's so important, because the truth is protocols can be copied, code can be copied, smart contracts can be copied, but ultimately what you're looking for is the people. You're looking for the people at the top there. You're looking for the AJs of the world, the Jasons, the Davids. You're looking for good people that go out there, they speak what they want to achieve, and then they go and make it happen. They make it happen on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Over the course of the month and the year, you see them repeating and doubling down on their beliefs and then achieving their goals. So you bet on the person. Don't bet on the project. Don't bet on the contract or the code or whatever's being sold to you next. I'm so confident that this can do well because we have good people involved. We have Jason, we have AJ, who have really proven themselves over time. Of course, we know each other very well, David, and we've been, hopefully everyone knows that we've been consistent throughout our time at Titano and before that as well. So yeah, speaking to partners, I couldn't be more excited about having you here, AJ. And again, it's always about the people, and hopefully we're going to discover that through the community as well. So far, the community has been fantastic, and I think that goes down to what you're talking about as well, AJ. This being a very organic thing, this growing slowly and in the right way, people having the time to learn what it's about, and to the protocol itself, the fact that you aren't fighting each other, you're not competing against each other. If I have a massive bag of Rhyze, if I was to sell that now, actually everyone benefits. It's the opposite of a typical liquidity pool driven project. So yeah, very excited to have you here, and also excited to hear the alpha. You described perfectly why we are different to the up token before, so I'm excited to hear you talk about this next.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Agreed. Yeah, all right. So AJ, I think it's time for some alpha. I think it's time to talk about what we're going to be doing together as our first project, um, EMP and Rhyze. So I am going to shut my mouth and let you talk. Thank you, brother.
Awesome, brother. Yes. So yeah, again, all of you that have stuck around, we appreciate you. And this is the meat and potatoes of today's AMA, and that is that not only are we partnering, in terms of tech and building out and being part of the team, but we're also partnering in a very beneficial financial way as well. And what that is Rhyze will be one of the first, if not the first partner battery within EMP Fusion. So why is this so important? Well, the way that these Rhyze tokens or UP tokens, the way that they gain the most value is through volume. And so we are literally building a volume machine for the Rhyze token. And so what will happen is you'll be able to get involved in EMP Fusion. You'll be able to buy, again, very cheaply, a nice dinner out with your family. It will be cheaper than that, we promise. But you'll be able to buy a Rhyze battery, and that allows you to take profit from the EMP ecosystem directly into the Rhyze token. And again, we are built on Binance Smart Chain, and Rhyze is right now on Matic. Well, we are also going to implement, and this is a bit of alpha for our own community as well, through the power of L1X and what we're hoping to build in terms of actual interoperability between chains. This will also hopefully be the first interoperable battery as well, where again you're able to receive your allocation on the native chain. So even though you're earning on BSC, you're getting paid on the actual Rhyze token on Matic. So again, there's a lot to work through with that. We are big on under promising and over delivering. Obviously, a lot of that will have to do with the L1X technology as well, and eventually building, EMP Fusion on top of that technology. But this is massive for Rhyze because, again, these tokens perform best with volume. And when I say volume, that means buying and selling. Again, John said it absolutely perfect about 2 minutes ago, where, when somebody sells Rhyze, that benefits the entire community. So there is no sell shaming. There is, crypto is, nobody is pushing the buttons for you. But if we can put together an infrastructure that really helps drive this volume and is beneficial to everybody, it's a win-win. And again, having a battery, a cash out battery in EMP Fusion, that drives volume right into Rhyze, and it takes selling pressure, off of any of our own native tokens. So it really is a win-win. Again, back to partnerships, anything that is a win-win for both parties is the goal, and we're going to continue to build that out as we go. So yeah, that's the big news. Again, I hope people can wrap their heads around it. There is a lot of intricacies. Again, I didn't spend too much time on Fusion, but just know, rather than having a tradable token, you are essentially earning your share of what the protocol generates, and then that share is converted to whatever battery you choose. So now having a Rhyze battery, if you are again interested in accumulating more and more Rhyze, you'll be able to do this on autopilot. Where again, that's the other beautiful thing is that it truly is passive, where you can just accumulate your Rhyze as your battery fills up. Once the battery is full, it does what's called a power cycle, and then that's when you're paid out in your Rhyze. So we'll have a ton more info on this. Again, we'll put together, even videos. I didn't even mention this earlier, but one of the things that made EMP extremely successful as well is our ability to teach. We were one of the first protocols to have a complete online academy about our protocol, and we're already starting that process with EMP Fusion, where all of this will be, outlaid in a very easy to understand manner. And again, it's moving away from this prisoner's dilemma that we see in 99% of all crypto projects, where you have to be scared or beholden to somebody dumping on your head, or that you are held hostage to the chart. And so that is not what we're building here. And again, Rhyze is an amazing example of the new wave of this. And again, being partnered and actually having a financial incentive as well, being part of, again, EMP is a win-win for everybody. So yeah, David, I'm excited, man. We dropped the alpha, so hopefully everybody's fired up for sure.
Thank you, AJ. Wow. Very, very, very much appreciated. It is, yeah, it's really, really exciting. And yeah, I wanted also to give a shout out to the EMP.Money Academy. I mean, it is amazing what you guys have done in terms of, creating an archive of videos that run through everything about the protocol. My hat is off to you guys for doing that. And you're right, it is really necessary, because ultimately what you want is people who understand what's going on. I've said this constantly about Titano and Switch when we were there. Our community was so educated that they were constantly telling us things to update. And, I've said this again constantly, that, some of you guys are smarter than we are about this stuff. So, yeah, so being able to have a repository of information, right, around what's being done and what's there it's really, really, really critical. We've got to do that for people. We want to, again, an educated community. And, as both you and John said, we wanted to build out organically, because that just simply makes it stronger. When we got started, people were talking about, you guys, you're so well known and look at the size of your community. And we said, we're not hyping, we're not selling, we're just showing. And this project, just like as you're describing, AJ, should grow because people are happy about what's going on, not because we're running our mouths all the time. Right. So
Totally.
got a great foundation there. Yeah, great foundation there, and great partners like you and what you're doing. It just confirms for us that we're on the right path. But let me be clear, it is all about the community. It's about you guys, and it's about us all working together. We're going to start when we have our update for our website and the DApp and all that come out again. We're going to really start pushing, getting the community more involved in helping us to grow, and ideas and all of those things. And then we're going to start, John, as I mentioned, we've got a ton of things going on. We're going to start pulling some of those things into this community to bring even more value to people. Some of that's education stuff, as you're saying, AJ. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Thank you for that. And, thank you for reaching out to us about this. This was, AJ's idea. He's been amazing in terms of coming to us saying, hey, look, I love what you guys are doing. I want to add some value. And, we're reciprocating. What can we do to help you, build out what you're building? Because, again, ultimately, guys like you and your community and what you've got going on are what's needed in this space to make it stronger. And, again, more beneficial to the investors. So you are very, very appreciated, man, and thank you for this. And yeah, I know, as you said earlier, it's like it's alpha, right? People don't understand all the details, but the thing to keep in mind is the core of what you said. It creates a large amount of volume, and volume is what's needed in this. Volume is needed in every project, but particularly with this project. And so that's why we're so excited, because we've been looking for ways, to get more volume. And this does that for us. So it's really, really appreciated. John, comments?
Yeah, what an incredible announcement. I'm so excited. But as you said, David, people might not quite realize the magnitude of it yet, but we're partnering with EMP.Money. We're partnering with AJ. AJ's part of the team now. This means that we're connected to that entire ecosystem. That's huge. I mean, for just speaking to the Rhyze audience moment, if you've been wondering what we've been working on or how we can go or where we can go with this is a huge step. This is one of the biggest players in the space entrusting us and entrusting the protocol that we've developed, coming on board, making it a core centerpiece of what he's doing next. So yes, this is a huge thing. So thank you so much for including us in that. Um, if I may, I'd 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 like to ask AJ now, for the people that we are here now or might listen to this later, if you are currently a Rhyze holder, what should we be looking out for from your side? Where can we get more information about Fusion? What should we do now? Should we buy? Obviously, no financial advice, but what should we prepare or how should we prepare for what you're doing next so that we can get in early?
Absolutely, brother. So yes, thank you again, John, for the kind words. And yeah, so again, never financial advice. We're just here to build amazing protocols, that all of you can benefit from. And yeah, so the game plan right now, I know that was a lot of information that we dropped on everybody, and as well as a time frame. We're in the final stages of Fusion being complete. So we're about 90% of the way there. Admittedly, it's taken a bit longer than we had originally anticipated. But for the Rhyze partnership specifically, it worked out in our favor because now again, this will be hopefully a launch battery when the protocol is live outside of our MVP. And so yeah, hopefully again. I know we get teased about this a lot, but I'm sure David and John, you guys can relate. Code is really hard, and we are literally building a model from the ground up. We're not forking, any sort of existing code. It's a development. Literally from the foundation upward. So, with that, it's a large undertaking. So, we don't have a date yet. Again, when we do, all of you will be the first to know. But yeah, again, everybody teases us that by the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, we definitely are hoping to be out by the end of the year. But in terms of getting prepared, so yeah, and really familiarizing yourself with what Fusion is, you will want to have EMP and eShare. Those are our two native tokens of the platform. And again, just to give a little more background on EMP, we started as a seigniorage protocol or a tomb fork that we built about 30 different smart contracts on top of. But the idea is that EMP is and still will be even in Fusion pegged to Ethereum. So right now we're off of that peg because again our inflation really hurt us. The bear market as well. But we're getting completely off of the inflationary model. Again, the amount of EMP that's in existence at this very moment is all the EMP there ever will be. And really, there's probably going to be less EMP because part of the platform fees will burn EMP. And eShare is a little more speculative, but eShare will be the actual currency of the platform as well. So that will have a ton of utility, and you'll actually be buying your Rhyze battery, to be able to cash out in the Rhyze token with eShare. So definitely pick up some eShare in preparation, and we are going to have what we're calling a sacrifice phase, where you're able to contribute your EMP, your loose EMP, your bonds, the E bonds in our protocol, or eShare, and get credit for that sacrifice in what we're calling a microgrid. And again, I know this sounds very complicated on the surface, but in reality, it's actually way more simplified than typical seniors protocols. And it's almost like a game. So your microgrid, you buy a part of the protocol with either eShare or EMP. That turns into a microgrid, and your microgrid is the money maker. It's an NFT that lives in your wallet, and then it produces daily passive income through all the revenue streams that we are implementing, and then cashing out. Again, you can cash out in stables, Ethereum, BNB, or Rhyze, and that is where we're really excited. We're gonna have a few key large partners in terms of partner batteries, but again, Rhyze will be the first and the first interoperable as well. Again, I can't stress enough how really revolutionary that is. And that's using the L1X technology. So again, for those of you that know EMP, you may have heard of L1X. It's a brand new layer one that has solved pure interoperability between chains, where you can literally swap tokens and logic between chains. So no longer do you have to choose what chain you're building on. Everything will be able to work together. So again, there's many things that makes this announcement revolutionary and bullish for both communities. And I would say just continue to listen in. We do AMAs of our own twice a week. Again, I'm simulcasting right now to our YouTube page. So if you want to listen to this AMA, I'm sure we'll post the link. But yeah, that will be a great way to keep in the loop. And we will definitely go over this on our own AMA on Monday. We just wanted to drop the alpha here today. So yeah, I think that really sums it up. Again, I know everybody says when fusion. It's coming. It's very close. And as soon as we have a date, and when we give a date, we'll be at least 2 weeks out for that date. So again, you'll have plenty of time to accumulate, but not financial advice. This could potentially be the floor of our own ecosystem as well. So, all right, awesome, John, David. Any final words or anything you want me to clarify? I'm happy to.
Amazing. That was fantastic. Thanks, AJ. I think what I'd like to say at this point is it's just so great to have you on board, and I think this is the first step of many that we're going to take together. This isn't the only thing we'll be doing. So keep your eyes and ears open, everyone. Tune into what AJ and EMP are doing, as well as what we're doing and announcing here, because this is just the very first step.
Thank you, John. Thank you, AJ. Amazing to have you here. And you said something earlier about you and me running into each other in the space, and and wanting to find some things to work on together, but wanting it to be something that was special. And yeah, this is it. And it is an absolute pleasure. I just want to again commend you for all the hard work that you've done. And as people who are involved in projects, you appreciate when people really put the work in. And on top of that, as importantly, like your demeanor, like how you position yourself, and always welcoming, and and offering, and all of those things is just critical, right, for what we're all trying to do. And then thirdly, for keeping the focus on the investors, like the people who are entrusting you with not just their money, but also their time and their belief, and and all those things. And I've listened to so many of your AMAs, and you just amazingly positive and optimistic about what's going on. And I appreciate you and you doing that, and even coming here, and and wanting to engage with us because you want to see us successful. So thank you a ton for that, for being here. Before I say a final goodbye, Triton, do we have any questions that we didn't answer?
Yeah, there's just one recently from Fanny Toro saying, will the Rhyze Fission battery put buy pressure on the Rhyze token?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can elaborate. Yeah, and shout out
Please.
to Funny Toro. Again, always love seeing him. A lot of familiar faces in here today for sure. So yeah, the
Wonderful.
answer is yes, 100%. So again, just to give a little bit more on the technical side, having a microgrid in EMP Fusion, which again is the heart of your earning. It's an NFT that will live in your wallet, and it represents your ownership of the protocol. So the bigger microgrid you have, the more fees and more, again, we're calling it energy, that you're able to earn. And so this energy can then be converted into many different batteries. And so under the hood or behind the scenes, you choose what battery you want to cash out in, and then we are able to facilitate that behind the scenes. Again, very simply, all you see is your battery filling up every day with energy, and once that battery is full, we call that a power cycle, and that is when it triggers the smart contract to buy whatever value your energy is. Again, some batteries will be larger than others. You can actually combine batteries to increase their capacity. And again, I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but the short answer is yes. That is then converted to buying pressure on Rhyze, and then we distribute that Rhyze to you. To again, whatever address is the battery holder. So not only is this again constant buying pressure, but it allows you to basically build your Rhyze bag over time completely passively. And then if you choose to sell that Rhyze that you earn, that's fine too, because that is the volume that Rhyze, thrives on for sure.
I love it. I love it. Triton, do you think that was a complete answer for the question?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, excellent. Thank you, AJ. Yeah, that's it, right? So it creates volume, um, uh, because you can cash out and Rhyze, and whenever Rhyze is purchased, that's positive pressure, price pressure, and that will cause the token to rise. No pun intended.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah. So yeah, and again, this is only the beginning. I know David and John alluded to this as well. I mean, this is a pretty big step, but we're masters of coming up with use cases and utility, and this is only the beginning for sure.
Mm. Thank you for that, AJ. All right, I think we've had enough of your time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Triton, for helping us with this on short notice. It just reminds me of how amazing you are. You appreciate it, man. John, as always, thank you for being here and providing your wisdom and insight on what we're doing and supporting the community and pushing things along. AJ, our special guest, it is an absolute pleasure to finally be working with you, and I look forward to doing great things with you, and we all do, and learning from you, and leaning on you for your wisdom, and for your positive vibes. As I've said, we've said, this is challenging, but the people here on this stage are up for the challenge, and we are 100% committed to reaching the goals that everyone in here, and everyone that's going to listen to this knows is possible with this industry. It's experimental, it's innovation based, and what that means is, we're going to have to put out things and make adjustments as they happen on the fly. Again, that's why it's important to have people that have been through it, been through the fire, and come out on the other side even stronger. So yeah, we're really excited about engaging with your amazing community and getting to meet all of them, and and again creating value for them as well. Thank you for being here, AJ. We appreciate it.
All right, brother, you got it, guys. Thank you. Much love to all of you. And again, now that everything is official and the word is out, now the next phase begins. So let's go, right? Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And as we said earlier, we will definitely have this available for people who couldn't attend, or in case you want to listen to it again. John, final word is yours.
No. I don't want to be the final person here. But thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks, David. Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Triton.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.